Welcome to First Time Watching. I couldn't believe it when I saw that David Howard Thornton was the voice of Mickey in the new movie Screamboat. The guy who plays Art the Clown now spends an hour and 40 minutes making mouse noises, and I absolutely loved it. The movie is, of course, another Disney Goes horror adaptation, and this time we're on the Staten Island ferry, where after the mouse is released from his prison, he goes on a murder spree to find the person he lost long ago. It's low-budget comedy of the highest caliber. I am going to try to call out as many Easter eggs as I can find, but please do put the ones I missed in the comment section. Now, without further ado, please like and subscribe as we dive straight into the explanation. On the Staten Island ferry, two employees, Neil and Dom, are trying to open an old hatch that dates back to the 1920s, back when the ferry was still running on steam. The hatch is a piece of history, so it's worth a lot of money. They manage to break it open, and Neil is thrilled with his prized possession, but something is lurking nearby. Neil tells Dom it's probably just a rat, and that she shouldn't worry, but then she hears laughter and gets smacked in the kisser with a wrench, so it's clearly a little more than just a rat. They're about to leave when they hear whistling. Someone is closing in on them. Neil challenges the figure to a fight, and then two big floppy shoes emerge from the mist and charge straight at him. The creature bites off Neil's nose, so Dom makes a run for it, but when she realizes the exits are locked, she runs back only to slip on Neil's severed nose and fall into the hole they just opened. Inside the hole, scratch marks cover the walls. It was used as a prison for many years, and whatever was trapped in it is now free. Selena is running for her life. She flees into the Staten Island ferry terminal and bumps into Pete, who tries to calm her down, telling her she still has time, the ferry hasn't left yet, but she looks genuinely shaken. So he asks if she's being chased by a maniac or something, to which she replies, no, worse, a birthday party. She's been serving them drinks at the bar all night, and once they found out she was heading to Staten Island just like them, they've been following her around ever since. Pete offers to help by sending the girls in a different direction, but she has to act fast because they're already on their way. He tells Selena he'll send them to the upper level deck, so she should head to the lower level stern. The birthday girl and her gang of booze-hungry slutbags are all dressed up as Disney princesses. They stop and ask Pete where the girl they were following went, and he tells them she went to the upper level deck. The girl dressed as Ariel grins and says, "Come on, I want to go where the people are." The ferry gets ready to depart with its eclectic cast of characters, people you could only find in New York. A paramedic named Amber is making her rounds when she stumbles upon one of her usual suspects, Barry the hobo. He's out cold, so Amber grabs some food and drinks from her bag. But something is lurking under the bench. Barry suddenly wakes up and grabs Amber's arm. He tells her the boat is cursed and they're all going to die. She ignores his warnings because he says the same thing every damn week. Down on the lower level, Selena is admiring the Statue of Liberty when Pete joins her. She thanks him for helping her earlier, and they flirt a little. This Pete character is very New York, but honestly, a lot of people in this movie seem to have being a New Yorker as their whole personality. A guy wearing a Statue of Liberty costume heads down to the lower deck for some privacy. He wants to snort some coke in peace, but then he hears whistling. So he snorts a little more and goes to check it out. The head of his costume has somehow moved and is now sitting in the middle of the hallway. The whistling is coming from it. As the guy approaches, the head turns around and suddenly sprouts a pair of feet. When he turns away, the head disappears into a nearby closet. As he investigates, something slices the muscle in his heel and he collapses. Then, the mysterious creature grabs his torch and stabs him through the back of the head. Meanwhile, Selena heads to the bathroom. Someone's already taking a dump in the first stall. From the second stall, she hears some squishy noises. Just as she's about to open it, Amber taps her on the shoulder because she's found Selena's sketchbook. Selena confesses that she's on the verge of giving up on her big New York dreams. Amber tells her maybe she should. New York's not for everyone, and it's too damn cramped anyway. Selena calls her rude, but Amber just shrugs and says, New York, either you love it or you learn to love it. Selena asks how Amber can possibly love this piss-soaked city. Amber says it's an uphill battle, but it's worth it. Selena tosses her sketchbook into the trash and forgets all about needing to pee. Lucky for her, because those squishy noises, they were coming from the creepy creature, happily munching on some human remains in the second stall. After she leaves the bathroom, the birthday girls find Selena and harass her a bit by forcing her into group photos. Meanwhile, a security guard is patrolling the ferry when he hears a creepy laugh. He notices the emergency boat has been destroyed. Then someone smashes one of his feet with a hammer, then the other foot, and then his hand. As the creature approaches the guard. Selena, having escaped her princess nightmare, overhears the screaming and goes to check it out. She finds the mouse whistling by the side of the boat, holding the guard underwater by his leg while steering his face into the ferry's propeller. It's Mickey Mouse. He looks over his shoulder at Selena and immediately falls head over heels for her. Selena screams and runs off. She finds Pete, Amber, and another guard and tells them one of the officers was killed, but when she tries to explain what she saw, their trust in her plummets. She's probably drunk, high, or both. Some jerk named Tommy shows up acting like he's the captain, so the guard throws some disrespect his way before they head off to look for the missing officer. Meanwhile, the real captain is trying to reach the tower as the mist is blurring his vision. He hears a noise and walks over to his wall of photos, where he notices a strange new picture right before something sneaks up behind him. It's Mickey. He wraps a cord around the captain's neck and slowly saws off his head while whistling the Steamboat Willie tune. Then, he steps on the captain's headless body and takes control of the ferry, steering it off course. Selena tries to explain to Amber and Pete what she saw, but they still think she hit her head or something. She tries to convince Pete since he clearly has the hots for her, but even then, his only response is, anything can happen in New York. Tommy runs up to the captain's quarters and finds the absolute bloodbath Mickey left behind. He tries to reach the tower, but Mickey has destroyed the communications device, which gives Tommy the biggest boner of his life, because he's the captain now. He orders Pete to move all the passengers to the lower deck and find whoever did this, and tells the officers to check the engine room, all while he lovingly strokes the steering wheel a little longer. Meanwhile, on the lower deck, two of the birthday girl's friends are filming cringe-ass content for their OnlyFans. Mickey climbs onto a forklift while the girls continue struggling to be even the tiniest bit sexy. He rams the forklift right through their mouths. Amber sees it happen and startles Mickey, so they both take off running. Pete and his colleagues try to move the eclectic group of characters to the lower deck. That's when Amber returns to tell Selena she was right, because the shit she just saw was seriously messed up. All the passengers finally gather on the lower level, but by the time Pete, Amber, and Selena arrive, after yapping about the mouse, most of the passengers except for them and two of the drunk party princesses have already been locked in. The passengers start to realize something's wrong, so the guard spills the beans and announces that the captain is dead. That's when Barry the hobo drops the most useless Easter egg of the movie. His line is literally, "Dead men tell no tales." Crowd starts freaking out and turns on each other. The guard loses his cool and gives them a classic "We Are New Yorkers" speech, which actually hypes up the crowd. But then Mickey stabs the guard through the neck with a broken broom handle. He does a little tap dance and grins. The passengers charge at him, so he picks up the fire hose and sprays them all backward. This is honestly some of the worst acting I've ever seen in my life. Mickey then smashes an electrical cabinet, sending a current across the now soaked floor and electrocuting the entire room. One couple keeps kissing during the electrocution. It's so stupid. Mickey keeps dancing, and one of the princess girls grabs the door handle from the outside and gets killed too. She would have been totally safe outside the room. The three are trying to figure out what to do next, because with Tommy as their new captain and the radio broken, they're pretty much doomed. Their only option is the emergency transponder in the engine room, if they can reach it, because then they can contact the tower and get help. Meanwhile, while Mickey is strolling around, one of the passengers, a kid named Mateo, managed to escape the mass electrocution and is hiding, hoping Mickey won't find him. But someone else does. Moses, another passenger who also survived. He finds the kid and takes him under his wing. Elsewhere on the boat, one of the patrol officers is chilling when a way too sexy dressed female passenger runs up to him, asking for help because something's wrong with the lights. He follows her to the circuit room, gun at the ready. But when he turns around, her tits are out. It's his side chick, Jamie. She drops to her knees and starts, well, sucking the life juice out of him. Mickey is lurking nearby, watching them from one of the cabinets. He jumps out and slices off the officer's meat. Then he turns to Jamie and chops her into pieces. Meanwhile, the gang runs into Moses and Mateo. Pete and the others wonder how they survived the electrocution. Moses explains that he was wearing special construction boots, and the kid was sitting on a rubber kitchen mat when he found him. The five of them team up and head toward the control room together. Don't ask me why they don't just go to the engine room, because they already know that the communications are broken in the control room. Bad writing, I guess. Back in the captain's quarters, Tommy is trying to fix the communication device and asks Pete to hand him some tools, except Pete's not there. It's Mickey. Mickey keeps handing him the wrong tools until Tommy finally snaps and says, "Pete, just give me the damn hammer." So Mickey hands him the officer's eggplant instead. Then he drops a monitor on Tommy's head, crushing his skull. The group enters the captain's cabin and finds Tommy's dead body. On the wall, written in in blood are the words, "A scream is a wish your heart makes." Barry grabs Selina's foot. He's alive. He tells Amber that the moment they told him to head to the lower level, he knew that was the last place he should go. The birthday princess, on the other hand, has wandered off on her own. She finds the head of the Statue of Liberty costume, and when she picks it up, Coke Boy's severed head rolls out. Mickey is right behind her, being sneaky. She bolts, losing her shoe just like Cinderella. She reaches a door, but it's jammed. Mickey picks up a harpoon and charges at her. Just as he gets close, she manages to open the door and hide behind it. Not her smartest move, because Mickey stabs her right through the door. Back in the captain's quarters, the group tries to figure out what to do next. They decide to go look for the flares, which are stored in the lower level. But Barry, of course, drops a nugget of wisdom. Willie. This is about Steamboat Willie. He explains there used to be rumors about a monster lurking in the underbelly of the ferry. Barry used to be a deckhand on this very boat, back when it was still called Willie. There were stories about a kind-hearted captain named Walter, though everyone called him Walt. Barry hands them an old photo of Walt, standing next to a small, cartoonish mouse. In his ship's cargo, Walt once found a mouse. Scientists were trying to make the mouse more cartoonish, more animated, but Walt took pity on him and set him free. They became friends. But then tragedy struck. During a storm, Mickey went absolutely bonkers, and after that, he vanished. Over time, people began to think Mickey was just a figment of Walt's imagination. But now, he's back, and nobody knows what he's after. The two people who were sent to the engine room get killed by the little rat bastard. One gets his face steamed off, and the other is set ablaze. Meanwhile, the group discovers that Mateo is the borough president's son. That's good news, because Mr. Moneybags is definitely going to be looking for his kid. The ferry suddenly loses all electricity and the lights go out, so they grab their flashlights and something sharp so they can make their way to the engine room. But before they get there, Pete and Selina share a quiet moment together, and they use every second of it to suck face. They decide to split into two groups. Pete, Moses, and Mateo head for the emergency communication device, while Amber and Selina go to retrieve the flares. Pete and his group prepare for battle when they hear rattling between the machinery. But it's not Mickey, it's Dom. She's alive, having been locked in a cage by Mickey. She tells them the emergency transponder is without power, but with their help, they might be able to fix it. Moses tells Mateo to stay behind while he and Pete follow Dom. Amber and Selina stumble upon Mickey in the middle of his lunch. He's feasting on the bodies of the two people he just killed, so they try to sneak past him. Moses and Pete inspect the transponder, but it looks like someone deliberately tried to destroy it. That's when Dom picks up a crowbar and smacks Moses in the back of the head. She calmly walks away, grabs her helmet with mouse ears, and tells Pete she's taking orders from the new captain now. She explains that Mickey isn't the only one of his kind. They're on a rescue mission to find someone lost at sea, and nothing will stand in their way. Amber and Selina sneak around, trying to find the flares without catching Mickey's attention. But then Amber steps on a loose nail. Seriously, every horror movie I've seen lately has someone stepping on a nail or broken glass or something. It's getting a bit annoying. She screams, and Selina quickly clamps a hand over her mouth to muffle the sound. But Mickey clearly hears it. They spot the box that's supposed to contain the flares, so Selina makes a run for it, while Amber yanks the nail out of her foot. As Selina checks the box for the flares, she hears a seductive whistle behind her. Mickey has made something just for her, a flower crafted from his victim's ears. He makes kissy faces at her, like some deranged suitor, but Amber charges at him and stabs him in the eye with a screwdriver. Mickey tackles Amber and tries to overpower her, but Selina grabs a broom and sweeps him away. Mickey scurries off, and the girls check the box. The flares are gone. Dom has the flares. She tells them that no help is coming because their world is already screwed. But Pete asks her if she isn't a little old to be running around with a stupid mouse, to which she responds with an illogical line that only makes sense because they had to cram in the Alice in Wonderland Easter egg after she fell into the hole. She says, "We're all a little mad here." And then she smacks Pete in the face. Mickey appears behind her, and he's furious. Losing his eye really messed him up, and he attacks and devours his loyal servant. While he's busy munching, Moses grabs the flare gun, tells everyone to say cheese, and fires it. Half the engine room explodes. Pete and Mateo barely escape in time, and it blows a hole in the hull of the ferry, which starts sinking. Pete and Mateo are stuck down there as the engine room is quickly filling with water. Luckily, Selina and Amber find them team and try to help. But Pete and Mateo aren't alone. As Pete tries to give Mateo a boost, someone nibbles on his leg. The girls save Mateo, but Pete is still trapped with the little trash weasel. Pete is losing the fight, so Selena watches her new boyfriend get drowned by a stupid furry. But they have to keep going. Mickey is still on their tail. Selena wonders why it's them. What does he want? Mateo hands her the picture of Walt and Mickey again. She notices that a part of it was folded, so she unfolds it and finds another mouse standing next to Mickey, a girl mouse. She must have been lost at sea, and that's why Mickey changed course. Mateo points out another detail in the picture. The girl mouse's skirt pattern looks just like the pattern on Selena's bag. That must have reminded Mickey of her and made him fall for Selena. Selena hatches a plan. She tells Amber to take Mateo up to the ferry's roof while she gets supplies. Selena finds a trunk from the Staten Island theater department, because of course, that's something you'd randomly find on a ferry, and gets to work. Meanwhile, Amber and Mateo make their way to the roof and spot a small tugboat in the distance. As they try to get its attention, they also alert Mickey. Mickey and Amber engage in a sword fight. He pushes her back until she falls, then stabs her in the shoulder. But he gets distracted by Selena, who walks toward them dressed as Mickey's girlfriend. The mouse becomes shy and approaches her, but when he gets close, she whacks him on the head with a giant hammer. He recovers and dodges the second swing just in time. Selena tries to wake Amber, while Mickey grabs Mateo and holds him over the edge of the ferry. He smacks the kid off the side and into the water. Selena runs to where Mateo fell, but she slips and ends up hanging off the side of the ferry. Mickey approaches, ready to kill her, until he looks into her eyes and has a flashback. It reminds him of his lost love, who also fell off the side of the ferry into the water. His little rodent heart can't bring himself to kill Selena, so instead, he helps her back up and offers her a flower. Amber runs up behind him and catches his attention by calling him a steamboat fuckface, and when he turns around, Selena stabs him in the back of the head with a pair of scissors. He falls off the ferry. As the morning sun rises, they see Mateo floating in the water. He's okay. The tugboat that spotted them earlier is closing in to rescue them. Mateo's dad thanks the girls for saving his son. Amber asks Selena if she still plans on leaving New York, because if this doesn't make her a real New Yorker, then nothing will, so she will think about it. Mateo walks over and hands Selena her sketchbook he found it in the water. I guess anything can happen in New York, Selena says, on a trash heap far away. Mickey naps. When he wakes up, he whistles seductively. Minnie walks toward him. After the credits, we see the guy in the control tower. Pete is still trapped, calling for help. The guy looks at the camera and says, "I'm coming, bro." And that's where the movie ends. Now, for my opinion, the movie is very stupid. It's a collection of bad lines, awful acting, and even worse effects. But just like New York, it still had something. Yes, the movie is bad, but they never denied that. They leaned into it, which made it feel like the stupidity was intentional. And because of that, I was laughing at their dumb jokes for the entire runtime. Would I recommend this movie to anybody? Probably not. Would I watch it again? Also, no. But I do think this new approach to the twisted childhood universe works.